I am Jan Goss. I am America's #1 master confidence strategist.
Hello, happy day to you, everyone. Welcome to our webinar, the 5 strategies to fearlessly connect with others. I am beyond excited to have you here. So I want you to know that this is your moment. This is your time when you are going to get rid of your fears and your apprehensions about connecting with other people, going to social events, going to professional events, and, feeling a little bit left out or a little awkward. Perhaps you're from another country and you're worried about, but I have an accent. You can use that as an advantage because it truly does help you stand out in the crowd. So let's get ready. Get a pen and a paper if you don't have one, or an electronic device, some way to take notes, because you're going to want to write these down. 5 strategies to fearlessly connect with others. Now, this is all about your success today. And I wanted to just tell you kind of a funny thing about life that I've learned from just kind of hanging out on the planet for a long time. And it's this, that when you succeed, do you know that I succeed as well? And when I succeed, you succeed, that we all add to each other's success. So today, I'm here to simply just pour out my gifts and my talents to help you with your success. And then as you succeed, then I feel like the greatest success because in some way I've helped someone else. So it all adds together. So let's get started. Today you're going to learn about the 5 strategies to fearlessly connect. And before we do that, I want to tell you a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me well, I'm not going to tell you about all the letters behind my name and my education and all of these wonderful things that I've accomplished in life, because seriously, doesn't that kind of make you, it's like it makes you sick when people come and it's all about me and my wonderful self. Well, I think we should think that we're wonderful. I do think that, but that's not what today is about. I really just want you to know a little bit about me and where I came from. So I was born the first girl after 3 boys. I was born right in the middle of Europe in a beautiful town called Munich, Germany. And my dad was an officer in the military. He traveled all around the world. We moved 21 times in 18 years. So for me as a child, I had to learn these skills. I had to learn how to connect. It was survival for me. So for all of you who feel like, I'm the new kid, if you've ever been the new kid in class, let me just tell you, I feel your pain, because I was the new kid a lot. And we carry those kinds of things into adulthood. Many times we enter some event, we go to some party or some professional event. And have you ever had that feeling where you just feel like, I'm the new kid, I don't really fit. I don't really belong here. So today, you're going to learn how to just knock those fears in the head. I'm going to give you very real strategies so that you can learn how to connect with others. It's going to help you. And before this webinar ends, I'm going to let you know not only how you can help yourself, but you can also help the next generation as well. Now it's getting a little close to my heart, because that's talking about my children, my grandchildren, carrying on these skills to the next generation. So are you ready? You got your pen and paper? You ready to go? All right, so let's get started. Here we go. I got my notes here. I don't want to miss a thing, so I have it all written down, because your high-level success comes from building these powerful relationships that can open doors for you. That's what it's all about. All right, so we're going to do a countdown today on this webinar. We're going to go from 5 to 1. Strategy number 5. Yes. Strategy number 5 to fearlessly connect with others is this: learn how to introduce yourself well. Seems simple, but we've all been there. You're at an event, you chat with someone for about 5 minutes, and then they walk off and you think, who was that? I don't even know who that was. Now, I know I'm not the only person that that's happened to, where you actually interact with someone and you never even introduce yourself, or they never introduce themselves to you. We miss so many opportunities because we simply don't introduce ourselves. So I want to give you the anatomy of correct introduction. And this is the very basic, simple anatomy. We can add to it, but for our purposes today, let me give you the formula. You begin with the word hello. Now, those of you who have heard me speak, I know I see you around town. I'll see you when I'm speaking somewhere and you tell me, wow, I really have gotten the word hi out of my vocabulary, or hey, or what's up, and when we present ourselves in those fun ways, it's great socially, but it's not professional. So in a professional setting, if you want to make your very best first impression, and you only get one chance for that, it's critical that you learn to introduce yourself well. So it's hello. This is the formula. Say hello. Let that be the very first word out of your mouth. Many times we're afraid to connect with people because we don't know where to start. It's like we enter a room and it's like, I don't even know where to start. Well, now you know. You start with the word hello. After that comes your name. It's hello, I'm Jan Goss-Gibson. Now, I'm pretty sure that all of us know our name, but how many of you know too that when you're nervous and you feel apprehensive, you can even forget your own name. It's like, hello, and we can just freeze. We call it the cat got our tongue. Where that saying came from, but that's what we say. It's like the cat got your tongue. You can't speak. So here's the formula. Hello, your name, and then your company name. So I would say, hello, I'm Jan Goss-Gibson with Civility Consulting. And when you say your name, be sure that you speak clearly and you enunciate and slow down. Because when we get nervous, we tend to talk a little bit fast, and then we are talking a little bit fast, and then people can't even understand what we're saying. So when you approach someone, say, hello, I'm Jan Goss-Gibson with Civility Consulting. So you slow it down, and it sounds a little bit in slow-mo to you, but it's easier for the other person to understand what you're saying. So I want you to put in the chat right now. Let me hear from you. What is your introduction? How do you say your introduction? Hello, and your name and your company name. It sounds simple, but if you'll practice this when you don't need it behind the scenes, then you'll have it when you do need it, because it will just roll off of your tongue with grace and with ease. You will look professional, and you're going to make a great first impression. So strategy number 1, to take this fear, let's get rid of this fear so that you can fearlessly connect with others, is master this. Learn how to introduce yourself. All right, everyone got that? Strategy, that's the very first one. All right, so actually that's number 5, and we're counting backwards. So strategy number 5, learn to introduce yourself well. All right, let's see. Strategy number 4, are you ready for this one? I'm gonna tell on myself on this one. Here we go. Strategy number 4, to fearlessly connect with others is this: get rid of negative self-talk. Do you know that we beat ourselves up more than anyone else? No one else can beat us up because we do it enough in our own minds sometimes. So before you go to an event, I want you to listen to what's going on in your head. Because if you're like me, When my apprehension level goes up, there are certain negative self-talk words that happen in this brain. Now, if I'm in a situation where I'm comfortable, then it doesn't go on. But the minute that I'm stepping up my game, or I'm about to step into something newer or bigger, or maybe I'm going to be with people that I perceive as they're more powerful than I am, or they have a greater title, or there's someone who's so important. You know how your apprehension level can go up? Well, let's knock that out. Because if we can get rid of this negative self-talk, then you are going to fearlessly connect with others. So my negative self-talk was this: but am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I pretty enough? Do I look okay? What are they going to think of me? You know, am I good enough? Am I smart enough? Am I pretty enough? But am I good enough? And it would just go over and over in my head. Well, here's what I want to share with you today. Did you know that words are more powerful than thoughts? So when those thoughts are going on in your head, if you will counteract those thoughts with words of affirmation, like, I am good enough. I am smart enough. I am pretty enough. And I like to add, I am worthy of all good. Boy, that worthiness thing, listen, it can really get us if we don't knock that out and get that out of our psyche, out of our mind. And I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one. Guys, don't leave me out here by myself. Don't you have negative self-talk too? If you do, let me know. Give me a little warm fuzzies like, me too, Jan. You know, I deal with that too. When I'm going to the next level, I can be so comfortable on stage in front of 5,000 people. But then when I was asked to speak to 90 millionaires and billionaires in a smaller setting, my apprehension level went up, and there it started again. But am I good enough? But wait, am I smart enough? And do I look okay? Am I pretty enough? So don't leave me out here by myself. I know that negative self-talk happens in all of us. And this is one of the things that we have to just knock in the head, say positive affirmations so that your words can overcome that negative chatter going on in your head. I am good enough. I am smart enough. I am pretty enough. I am worthy of all good. So now we know how to introduce ourselves. We also know that we are going to get rid of all of that negative chatter in our head before we go to an event, and know that you are good enough. All right, so strategy number 3, here we go. The third strategy to fearlessly connect with others is this: be others oriented. I want you to think of the last time when you felt self-conscious. Now let's break that down a little bit. Let's just think about those 2 words, self-conscious. That means that you're conscious of yourself. So I have an antidote for you. It's be others oriented. When we have our focus on the other person, it helps us not be self-conscious. Isn't that simple? Very simple in theory, but it's a little more difficult in the practical application of this. So I want to give you some very real strategies on being others oriented. You want to focus on that other person. Find out about them. And one of the ways that I like to be others oriented when I go into any event is the moment that you go into the event, look for the host. Who put that event on? Someone went to a lot of trouble for that event to happen. It took their time, it took their energy, it took their finances, their resources. So think about that when you go to any event. Look for the host and simply tell them, thank you. I know for myself, I've hosted many, many events, and thank you is not something that you hear too often. People, they just like kind of come in and they eat your stuff and they drink your stuff, and they want your goods, your free goods and everything that you have to offer. And it really feels really, really good when people simply just say, thank you so much for doing this. And really, I know for myself, that's the only reward that I want. I want people to be grateful, and I want people to pass it on, whatever they learn. So when you go to any event, be others oriented. Think about what it took to put that on. Another strategy that I use to be others oriented is to look for people who are working at the event. Perhaps it's a wait staff or a host, at the front door, or, the people that are working behind the scenes. Approach them and say, listen, I just wanted to say, thank you so much for working this event today and for making it such a great success. I really appreciate all of your hard work. Well, they might faint, so I'm just warning you up front, because people aren't used to being appreciated. And isn't it just an easy thing to do? It makes a great first impression for you. It makes the other person feel wonderful. It's all about being others oriented. So we want to introduce ourselves well, get rid of all of that negative chitter chatter going on in your head, and then be others oriented. Don't be so self-conscious. It's not all about you, right? And so make it about other people and being in gratitude. Gratitude is always the right thing to do. All right. So is this helping you? Let me know. Does this help to just knock that fear in the head? Once you know what to do and how to do it, it helps you feel confident. It's like, wow, now I know I can just go in. I know how to introduce myself. I've gotten rid of that negative chatter in my head, and I'm going to be others oriented. This will help you fearlessly connect. All right, we are down to number 2 of how to connect with others in a fearless way. We want to fearlessly connect with other people. So here's strategy number 2. And some of you have heard this before, and so I want to give you a little refresher on it. And I want to ask you a question. Are you using it? Because strategy number 2 is this: learn the BOSS method. Now, the BOSS method is simply an acronym that I created to help you show up and show up powerfully, show up your very, very best. The BOSS method stands for this. The B is for breathe. If you'll do this with me right now, I want you just to take a deep breath. Fill those lungs up. Wow, your body just did all kinds of wonderful things just by taking in that oxygen. So when we breathe in, I do it before I even go into an event. When I get out of my car, I just stop and take a moment, take that deep breath, and let out with sound if possible. If there are other people around, don't be, right? Watch your behavior. But maybe when you're in your car, maybe you can go in a restroom somewhere and just take that deep breath and release that anxiety. It will help you show up in a more powerful way, in a more peaceful way. It will help you show up making your best first impression. It's a simple thing, but here's my question to you. Are you doing it? Are you exercising this? Take that deep breath. That's B. The B in BOSS stands for breathe. The O in BOSS stands for open body. So you want to be sure that your body is open. Be sure nothing's crossed on your body, or they're not showing up with your body like tweaked around and twisted around. Stand on your 2 feet and stand with your weight on both feet and let your arms hang by your side. Be in an open body position. it feels really vulnerable and it can feel a little awkward, but it feels better to the other person. That's about being others oriented. So the O is for open body. Be sure that when you show up, you've taken that breath, you're in open body position. The first S stands for stand up straight. So adjust your posture, and the last S is smile. So breathe, open body, stand up straight, and smile. And you just made a great first impression. This will help you fearlessly connect with others. Connecting is the way that we do business. Whatever business that you're in, I want you to think right now, who would you like to connect with? Who is that person who you know that if they ever heard about your service, that your business would absolutely just be a wild success overnight? Who do you need to connect with? Who is that? I want you to begin to think about that, because if you will introduce yourself to them, if you'll get rid of your head trash and you'll be others oriented, and then you use the boss method so that you show up and make your best first impression, this is going to shift your success. It happened right here in Austin at the University of Texas. Let me tell you what happened there. For the past 5 years, I've been teaching at the University of Texas in their graduate school program. And as I've seen the students come in and flow out, you know, these are educated students. They're graduating with advanced degrees. They've worked really, really hard, and they've spent a lot of money to be where they are. And when I began working with them, the hire rate was at 38%. So those who were graduating, 38% of them were being hired into companies. And as they learned these skills that I'm sharing with you today, you know what happened? Their rate of hire went from 38% to 97%. That's the difference that these skills made in these precious young people's lives. And it made such an impact on me. They even gave me this Bevo Award. Those of you who don't know, Bevo is the mascot for the University of Texas. It's a longhorn steer. And so I got this Bevo Award because of the difference that it made in these students to simply learn these basic skills. And I felt like at that time in my life, it was like, I call it like a holy hit over my head. When I realized the impact that this has on the next generation and the impact that learning these simple skills has on professionals, I knew that I knew that I knew that I had to reach out, and I have to get this information out. I have to get it out in a bigger way. Have you ever had something in your life that just burned in your bones and you knew that you had a message that had to get out? Well, that's what happened to me. After working with these students, I saw the difference in their lives. And I thought, it's great that I can make a difference in some of their lives, but I really wanted to make a difference in a way bigger way. So I created a package, and I put together a professional success package that has not only what I'm sharing with you today, but it also has all of the basic skills for first impression management that I learned at the Protocol School of Washington in DC. That's where I graduated from. That's how I learned this, not just from studying internationalists, but also I went to school with diplomats and ambassadors and the presidential staff. And I learned things that I didn't know before. So how do we know if no one teaches us? So I gathered up all of this information. I put it together in a package. It's the first of a series. And here's what I'm doing. I am making this available to professionals globally. a professional success package. And when one is purchased, not only does it polish up the professional, we give one to a deserving university student. So it's kind of the Tom Shoes method. You know, it's that when a professional makes a purchase, then we pass one on to the next generation. So I want you to know that today that we're opening this up, that you can pre-order your professional success package, and we are delivering them on my birthday on September 22nd. I am birthing to the world this gift, this new package to the world, to not only help you reach your peak success, but also make a difference in this generation to come. So how exciting is that? I wanted to share that before we do our final countdown with the #1 strategy to fearlessly connect with others. All right, so you ready? Is everybody ready for the #1 strategy? What do you think it is? What do you think it might be? Because here it comes. Let's hear it. Drum roll, please. Here we go. The #1 strategy to fearlessly connect with others is this: stretch out of your comfort zone. The reason why we don't fearlessly connect is because we stay in our own little comfort zone, and we hang around our own little friends, and we only hang around with people who make us feel good, and we don't stretch out of our comfort zone. That's where you fearlessly connect. So I want to tell you what happens in our brain and why we don't do that. So you thought of a person a while ago who, man, if they would just know who I am, my business would explode. What if Oprah discovered you and promoted your book? What would your life look like? Like, how would that change your life? Who do you need to fearlessly connect with so that your life can be transformed forever? Well, you're not going to connect with them unless you stretch out of your comfort zone. And the reason we don't, think about it. You see someone, you think, oh, they're so important. They're famous. They're big. And we think, I can't connect with them. If I do, I'm gonna die. Like, I'll die if I step out there. And you know what? Here's what you're going to find out. When you step over that line of fear, you're going to step right into success, and you're going to connect with people that you never dreamt that you would connect with before. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen for you. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a commitment to me that within the next 24 hours, yes, the next 24 hours, that you are going to stretch and do something that you've been afraid to do. What is it for you? Are you going to pick up the phone and call someone? Are you going to reach out to someone through email? Are you going to ask for what you've been wanting to ask for a long time? How can you stretch out of your comfort zone to step out and connect? Here's what's going to happen. You're going to do it, and you're going to find out you didn't die. Isn't that amazing? You're going to find out, your brain is going to learn, I didn't die. Even when I stretched out of my comfort zone, I'm still alive. And guess what? I even made a really powerful connection. Because here's the truth, and here's what you'll find out. Successful people, for the most part, really want to help you. They really want to add to your success. And if you'll ask them with all of these tools that I've given you today, now you need to introduce yourself appropriately. You can't just barge in. You need to be others oriented, and you certainly need to be rid of the trash in your head, right? So learn these skills and apply them in stretching out of your comfort zone. When you're face to face with people, use that boss method, and you are going to see wild success in your life. If it can happen for me, and it did, it can happen for you. My life didn't always look like it does today, But guess what? It does look like it does today. And it truly is a life of my dreams. This is the life that I dreamt of. And I've created that. But I didn't do it by myself. I did it by connecting. I did it by connecting spiritually. I did it by connecting with my own self. I did it by connecting with other people. And you can fearlessly connect too. Anything that I can do to help promote your success, that's what life is all about. Because remember, when you succeed, I succeed. And when I succeed, you succeed. We're all in this life together. Let's join hands together. Let's make this world a better place. Click on the professional success package to add to your own success and to the success of a deserving university student. And go out and be the change that you want to see in this world.
For more tips, techniques, and training, please connect with me at civilityconsulting.com. This is Jan Goss-Gibson, reminding you that the quality of your connections determine the quality of your life.